Os psiquiatras exigem o direito absoluto de determinar o que é melhor para os chamados doentes mentais. Apesar de tudo, os doentes mentais são malucos e não são capazes de avaliar o seu próprio tratamento. Para fazer cumprir a sua autoridade sobre os demais e manter os seus hospitais cheios e a níveis rentáveis, os psiquiatras usam um método chamado internamento involuntário.
When you go to a real doctor, say a family doctor or a cardiologist, a patient always has the right to refuse treatment. So there is no such thing as involuntary treatment when it comes to clinical medicine as practiced by real doctors. Psychiatrists, of course, believe that people can be treated against their will.
Em 1956, o psiquiatra Winfred Overholser apresentou um plano ao Congresso que tinha a intenção de levar o internamento involuntário a um novo patamar. O plano era comprar 400 mil hectares de terreno selvagem no Alasca, construir um imenso hospital mental e mudar as leis de internamento para que se pudesse enviar qualquer pessoa com um simples assento de um psiquiatra. O projeto de lei passou rapidamente pela Câmara dos Representantes, mas quando o público se inteirou do plano, enfureceu-se, referindo-se-lhe como Sibéria EUA. O Senado cancelou rapidamente o projeto de lei. Mas ainda que o fim do projeto de lei Sibéria deteve os seus planos em grande escala, o internamento involuntário continuava a ser o método mais eficaz e lucrativo para encher os hospitais psiquiátricos.
Again, the person has committed no crime and has no trial and is sent directly to a mental hospital, which is really a prison.
How many people go to an insane asylum and say, please lock me up? Doctors don't lock up anybody. Psychiatrists lock you up.
Até mesmo as crianças podem ser levadas para longe dos pais com pouco recurso legal.
They just invaded our home. They came in with officers. Our kids were scared. You know, they come in with pieces of paper and say, you're giving us your kids. And it's like, you know, how can they just come in and do that?
She said, you could be arrested for medical neglect. And I said, but how is that when, you know, this is my child? And I see that he doesn't need that much medication. Why would you threaten me with something like that?
At 10 p.m., 2 policemen and 2 social workers came to my house and took all 4 of my kids away.
Uma vez internados num hospital psiquiátrico, os pacientes são drogados e controlados.
The more a person objects, the more this objection is construed as symptom of a mental illness.
At which point the person would be locked up in restraints. There would be the ankle, the knee, the waist, the head, the wrist, and the shoulder restraints. And if when that process was happening, if there was almost any resistance at all, the person then would be medicated to a point where they would almost be knocked out.
We had one case where they actually took a patient in a seclusion room and beat him up. And then they lied about it to the services that investigated. So it's a pretty wide range of abuse issues that we've encountered.
O pessoal psiquiátrico provoca violência nos seus pacientes para poder cobrar das companhias de seguro até $1.000 diários por cada paciente imobilizado.
A patient would resist diagnosis, resist treatment, and also want to leave treatment while they were at the hospital. And invariably, every time, that person's situation would be exacerbated until they were put in constraints and medicated, at which point there would be documented reasons to keep that person in treatment.
O fardo de tais somas reclamadas é cobrado diretamente ao público, através de elevados prémios em seguros de saúde. Quanto às vítimas, o efeito é traumático, por vezes letal.
16-year-old Rochelle Claiborne died in Laurel Ridge's care last August. The state report shows during the restraint, quote, Rochelle stated several times she could not breathe.
In almost all respects, the staff behaved appropriately, followed the standards.
Ao aproveitarem-se de leis frágeis ou vagas sobre o internamento, os psiquiatras e o seu staff quase nunca são criminalmente acusados por agressão com lesões e assassinato.
He begged me to take him home, take him out of there, that they were treating him wrongly, and he didn't want to stay there. And I got a call that there had been an accident, that they held him down until he couldn't breathe anymore. I wish I would have listened to him, take him out of there before it had happened. And then I miss him every day. I wish I could have him back, but I can't.
Até hoje, ninguém foi acusado pelo assassinato da criança. Os idosos são um alvo preferencial do abuso psiquiátrico. O tratamento de idosos em hospitais mentais nos Estados Unidos custa às companhias de seguro do governo e privadas mais de 27 mil milhões de dólares por ano.
Unwarranted commitment has occurred that wouldn't have occurred if the people hadn't had insurance. The proof of that pudding is generally in how fast they get out once the insurance runs out.
Involuntary commitment is a form of psychiatric slavery, where persons are treated as if they're property and they are deprived of liberty, and people are making money in the process.
As long as we have involuntary mental hospitalization, psychiatry is a prison work. It's a crime against humanity. It is not medicine.
A todos os minutos do dia, alguém é internado involuntariamente num hospital psiquiátrico. E se acredita que é algo que não lhe pode acontecer a si ou a alguém que conheça, pense melhor. Só durante o tempo que demorou a ver este programa, 5 pessoas foram internadas contra a sua vontade. Com centenas de milhares de milhões de dólares dedicados aos hospitais dos Estados Unidos desde 1975, os psiquiatras conseguiram um negócio lucrativo oculto atrás de uma interpretação discutível da lei. Mas com frequência, alguns psiquiatras cometem crimes demasiado flagrantes para podermos ignorá-los.